Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this presentation on UPSC. Today we will explore the role and significance of this vital institutional body in India's governance system. You will find very small number of people who have dreamed for UPSC from their childhood. Why is it? Because our parents just tell us about JEE and NEET. They just think that our son or daughter will become doctor or engineer in future. They don't tell us about other profession. One of them is UPSC CSC. It is very amazing and fascinating job. You all have seen 12th Fail movie. There are so many people who get inspired by seeing this movie, and also there is a huge number of people who get aware about UPSC on seeing this movie, just like me. Before it, I just think that there were only two career options, doctor or engineer. But on seeing this movie, I get aware about UPSC. You will find that so many people get aware about UPSC when they become adult and choose other career option. That is why it is very important to discuss about it. So let's start. UPSC. UPSC stands for Union Public Service Commission. By hearing this term, you create an image in your mind. The term public signifies that the organization serves general public rather than being private or exclusive. It underscores that the UPSC is a government body tasked with conducting exam for various services position and upholding the principle of fairness and meritocracy in public administration. Now, I want to introduce those topics which we will be going to discuss in this presentation. The first one is what is UPSC? Second, why to dream for UPSC? Third, services in UPSC CSC. And the last four we will discuss in the upcoming presentation. That is eligibility criteria, exam pattern, detailed syllabus analysis, study material and go-to books.
What is UPSC? Most of the people think that UPSC is an examination, but they are wrong. UPSC is not an examination. It is a body that is responsible for conducting civil service examination. Similarly, NT is responsible for conducting examinations such as NEET and JEE. UPSC stands for Union Public Service Commission. Look at here. Here it is written public services. Which type of public services are provided? Do you know? There are many type of public services are provided. I tell you few of them. Development and planning policies, public welfare, crisis management and many more.
In India, a career in UPSC is not just seen as a job. It is regarded as a symbol of prestige and respect. Civil servants get the opportunities to work in the fields ranging from healthcare and education to law enforcement, and through their work they can shape the direction of their community and nation. Civil servants are provided with a high level of job security. They enjoy a comprehensive range of benefits from subsidized housing, transport and medical insurance and retirement benefits. They also get the opportunities to travel and experience different parts of the countries. Civil servants are trained to handle a wide range of responsibilities such as public administration, policy making, and crisis management. They also get the opportunities to constantly learn new things. UPSC provides the responsibility to create and impact policies which are responsible for bringing a positive change to the society. By becoming a civil servant, we can also contribute towards the development of the country. One of the major benefits of choosing UPSC is that we can bring about changes in the policies that shape our society and nation. A civil servant has the power to bring a substantial impact on the lives of millions of people.
UPSC conducts a national level exam for 24 services. But wait, 24? And I know that most of you have heard of only 4 services like IS, IPS, IFS and IRS. Most of you didn't knew that there are 24 services in UPSC. So, this is the primary objective of our presentation, to make you aware of something that you didn't know. These 24 services are divided into 2 groups, the group 1 of All India services and the group 2, the central services. The group 2 central services is further divided into 2 groups, the group A and the group B. So, the group 1, All India services. This group consists of 3 services, the IAS, Indian Administrative Services, IPS, Indian Police Services, IFOS, the Indian Forestry Services.
It consists all 16 services centrally
So first one is IFS, Indian Foreign Services, IA and AS, Indian Audit and Account Services, ICAS, Indian Civil Account Services, IDAS, Indian Defence Account Services, IDES, Indian Defence State Services, IIS, Indian Information Services, ICLS, Indian Corporate Law Services, IOFS, Indian Ordnance Factory Services, ICFS, Indian Communication Finance Services, IPOS, Indian Postal Services. Another one is IRAS, Indian Railway Account Services, IRPS, Indian Railway Personnel Services, IRTS, Indian Railway Traffic Services, IRS, Indian Revenue Services, ITS, Indian Trade Services, RPF, Railway Protection Force.
Group B. As you all know that the Group 2 divide in two parts, Group A and Group B. The Group B consists 5 services. First is Armed Force Headquarters Civil Services. Second is Pondicherry Civil Services. Third is Pondicherry Police Services. Fourth is DANIX. That stand for Delhi, Andaman and Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Daman and Diu, Dadar and Nagar Haveli Civil Services, and last fifth is DANIPS. That stand for Delhi, Andaman and Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Daman and Diu, Dadar and Nagar Haveli Police Services. The Group B officers are usually work under the command of IAS officers and gazetted officers of Indian administration. These officers serve the Union territories.
Now let us discuss each and every service in detail. So the first service is Indian Administrative Service. It is the most prestigious and fascinating service among the youths in India. Indian Administrative Service is the administrative arm of the government of India. It is also known as the backbone of Indian bureaucracy. IS cadre is controlled by the Department of Personnel and Training, which comes under the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions. IS plays a major role in maintaining law and order, collecting revenue, and implementing the union and state government policies at the grassroots level. They also handles the administration and day-to-day proceedings of the government. They are responsible for conducting the free and fair elections. They ensure that the electoral process is conducted transparently and impartially. They also oversee the construction and maintenance of various essential infrastructures like power plants and dams in their jurisdiction areas. They also supervise the expenditure of public funds. After qualifying IS, candidate starts its training in Labasna, which stands for Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, which is situated in Mussoorie, Uttarakhand, where they are taught various things like administrative skills, about political science, and about management and behavioral sciences.
IPS comes in All India Services. IPS officers trained at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy at Hyderabad. IPS officers occupy the senior position in every police services. IPS officers occupy the senior position at RAW, IB, and Central Bureau of Investigations.
Now, the next service is IFOS, which stands for Indian Forest Service. It is 3 of All India Service. After clearing the exam, the candidates are trained in IGNFA, Indian Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy in Dehradun. Its main aim to protect the protected areas such as wildlife sanctuaries, tiger reserve, and other national parks. Being, as I told you, that it is All India Service, so they can serve for both the state government and central government. While serving for the state government, their highest designation is Chief Principal Executor of the Forest, and while serving for the central government, their highest designation is Director General of the Forest. They are independent of the district administration to use their financial, judicial, and administrative powers. Their work is to prevent the animals from wildlife crimes and protect all natural resources, implement the forest policy made by the government, protect some areas, collection of forest data, and they can work in numerous organizations such as food agriculture organization. Rather than in working in this organization, food agricultural organization, they can also hold the position of chairperson or secretary in the state pollution control board. And we should dream for this, because if we want to serve back to our mother nature, and we are passionate about mother nature and wanted some mental peace and quietness, we should definitely choose this service.
In IFS. IFS is the central service of the country. It represents the India at the international level, and it also safeguards the India's concern and its affairs in the country of its deputation. It also negotiates on the various important topics with the concerned authorities, and the training is held in Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, which is in Mysore. The duration of training is 3 to 4 months. After that, he is sent to the Foreign Service Institute, which is in Delhi. And the completion of training, they assign some compulsory foreign language such as Arabic, German, and French, and many others. And now the question arises, what is the skill required to become an IFS officer? So the simple answer is that it's excellent communication, leadership, and the ability to adopt any kind of culture and environment.
Indian Audit and Account Services, IA and AS. Their training is held at National Academy of Audits and Accounts, which is situated at Simla. This cadre comes under the Comptroller and Auditor General. Comptroller and Auditor General means they have to control and audit, inspect the financial expenses of either the central government or the state government. The primary job of this cadre is to auditing of the expensive financial state of the central government, state government, and public sector undertakings. As we all know, India is a vast country, and there are many organizations held running every day for building roads, temples, etc. And lot of revenue is generated for this organization. And IA and AS officers are recruited to check, audit that this generated revenue is used properly or not.
Now we are going to know about ICS service, that is Indian Civil Account Service. As you know from the previous section that this service is from Group A of Civil Services. It comes under the administrative control of Ministry of Finance. It is led by the Controller General of Accounts, who is the highest authority of the organization. The responsibility of this ICS officer is to see the financial integrity and transparency of the central government operations. The training of this ICS service takes place at two premier institutions. First at the National Institute of Government Financial Management in Faridabad, and second at the Institute of Government Accounts.
Indian Corporate Law Services, ICLS. A group is service functioning under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Primary objective of this service is to govern the corporate sector of India, which is also known as the business sector, and we all know that plays a major role in the economy of India. ICLS officer would be given extensive training on law, economics, finance, and accounting. As they have to govern the corporate or business sector of India, they must have the training of these all things so they can easily govern the business sector of India.
So our next service is Indian Defence Account Services, which comes under the Group A. It is an option available for the candidates who is preparing UPSC Civil Service exam. It is responsible for managing the account of Defence Department. The main function is to provide financial advice, payment, and accounting the functions of Defence Research Development Organization. And the period of training is 4 months, which is held in Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration. After that, they are posted as Assistant Controlling Officer of Defence Account. So the question arises, why was IDAS established? So a simple answer is that it is established to look after the pay account of Military Service of India.
Now next service is Indian Defence State Services, IDES, is a Group A central services in the Government of India's Ministry of Defence. Officer of Indian Defence State Services undergo comprehensive 6-month training program at National Institute of Defence State located in New Delhi, preparing them for esteemed career in defence leadership. They manage and administer the civil affairs of India's defence land and 62 cantonments board. Indian Defence State Services is the country's most important administrative services, responsible for managing over 17.57 lakh acres of land. Their duties include
managing defense land, overseeing cantonments board, conducting regular survey and audits of defense land. Audits means to you verifying accuracy and completeness. Thank you.
Indian Information Service. This service comes under the Group A of Civil Services, which oversees the public relations and media operations with the Government of India. The primary role of this service is that it connects the government with the public and it ensures that the information is accurately conveyed and public concerns are addressed. This IIS service falls under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The main functions of an IIS officer are he or she builds and maintains a positive image of the Government of India, and second, he or she manages the communication of emergency crisis.
The next service is Indian Ordnance Factory Service, IOFS. This is the Group A of Civil Service, and the main objective of this cadre, the cadre of IOFS, is to control the ordnance factories. Ordnance factories means those factories which are responsible for producing defense equipments, arms, ammunition for our country. As this cadre is responsible for controlling the ordnance factories which produce defense equipments, so this cadre comes under the Ministry of Defense. The candidates selected for IOFS undergo a training at National Academy of Defense Production, which is at Nagpur, for a period of 1 year and 3 months.
Move on to our next service, Indian Communication and Finance Service. It falls under Group A Central Service Examination. After clearing this examination, the training starts in 3 terms. First in Lavasna as that of the IAS, second in Faridabad National Institute of Telecommunication for 44 weeks, and the third in Delhi for 36 weeks in National Institute of Communication Department. As it is written in the name, Finance Services. India is a very vast country, and it produces very complex budgets. So this is responsible to manage the budgets and providing pensions to the private as well as the government companies such as MTNL and BSNL. And the communication service are responsible to improvise the 2G, 4G, 3G spectrums, and they are also responsible for revenue collection, for providing financial budgets to the telecom and posts.
So our next service is Indian Postal Service. It is also part of Group A Civil Services. IPS cadre is controlled by the Department of Post, which comes under the Ministry of Communication. As senior officials in Indian Post, IPS manages and runs the postal services across India. This service handles a diverse range of responsibilities like mail and parcel delivery services offered by the Indian Post. Besides traditional mail deliveries, they also handles financial services like savings and recurring deposit accounts with their extensive network of post offices. They also handle the deliveries of government to citizen services such as MG Narega wage payments, disbursing old age pensions, and other types of subsidies. After qualifying for IPOS, a candidate training starts at either in Lavasna or at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Postal Academy, which is situated in Hyderabad in Telangana, where IPOS officers are trained to handle mails and logistics management.
The next service is Indian Railway Account Services. It is one of the Group A Central Civil Services of the Government of India. This service is responsible for maintaining and managing the finance and accounts of Indian Railway, and also responsible for recording and reporting the cash flow transaction of a company, and giving financial advice to the executive in matter related to the company. This department prepares the budget. After the qualified exam of IRAS, his training is to have a first civil exam conducted by UPSC, and second promoting the Group B Department of the Railways. After the initial posting, IRAS as an assistant accounts of a divisional headquarter of Railway. His training program is 2 years. National Academy Directors in Nagpur. Thank you.
Indian Railway Personnel Services. IRPS. Initial training is initiated at Lavasna. Now they will receive further training at the National Academy of Direct Taxes after having the training at Lavasna. After the training at National Institute of Direct Taxes, they will move to the National Academy of Indian Railways, which is situated in Vadodara. The primary responsibility of these officers is to manage the behemoth human resources of India Railways. As we know that over thousands of trains are running in India in a single day, and running of trains needs high numbers of employees. So who manages all these employees, giving them salary, managing their resources, getting their attendance and other things? So the IRPS is a body of service that helps India or the railway sector to manage all the human resources of the railways.
The next service, IRTS, that is Indian Railway Traffic Service. Indian Railway Traffic Service is a Group A civil service under the Government of India. It is responsible for planning and managing the traffic of Indian railways. After clearing examination held by UPSC, who will choose IRTS, they undergo training Railway Staff College located at Vadodara and Indian Railway Institute of Transport Management located in Lucknow. ITS play a crucial role in planning and implementing various policies related to new technology, enhancing new technology of commercial aspects, passenger safety, and most important responsibility, that is revenue generation. This service serves as an intermediary between railway system, public railway, and corporate organization. It should be responsible for overseeing both operational and commercial aspects of Indian Railway. These include managing railway services, enhancing new technology, and handling the commercial activities such as taxes, sales, and transport of goods.
IRS, Indian Revenue Services. IRS officer start their training at Labashna Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration. After it, they move to the NADT, National Academy of Direct Taxes, for further more training, which is in Nagpur. They also train as National Academy of Custom, Excise and Narcotics located at Faridabad. Do you know IRS officers have many responsibilities like fraud investigation in banking, tax collection, tax planning and advice.
The Indian Trade Service ITS. Selected candidates for the ITS cadre undergo training at Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, which is at New Delhi. The primary goal or the primary objective of this cadre is to maintain commercial trade between India and other countries. Do you know that there are more than 200 trading ports and thousands of aeroplanes run every day for commercial trade, and all of this is only managed by the ITS officers, the Indian Trade Service officers.
Next service is RPF, Railway Protection Force. The main objective of this cadre is to provide the foolproof security to the passengers of Indian Railway services. They also protect the assets and the resources of the railways.
Who among you all have seen Border movie? On that movie, we can see there is a good representation of coordination between armed forces. Something similar we are going to discuss in this topic. So the topic is Armed Forces Headquarters Civil Services. It falls in a group B, and their aim is to provide a basic function support to armed forces and inter-service organization. Do you know what is inter-service organization? It is nothing but only the organization of at least 2 of the 3 services of Army, Navy and Air Forces. It is headed by the Ministry of Defense, and it works under the Defense Secretary.
Now, then is referred to Delhi, Andaman and Nicobar, Daman and Diu, Dadar Nagar Haveli Civil Services. These services act as a feeder Feeder means to add to something and make it bigger. This services of Indian Railway Administration. After the initial posting of officer, cadets role of in assistant collector in district administration in Delhi. We all know that there were IPS officers in state for preventing crime and investigate about it. Then who is responsible for it in Union Territory? Do you know? They were the officers of DANIPS. DANIPS is an abbreviation for Delhi, Andaman and Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Daman and Diu, Dadar and Nagar Haveli Police Services. As it is a federal police organization, it administers Delhi and the Union Territory. The officers of the DANIPS are served with various responsibilities. For example, preventing crime, investigate about it, maintaining law and order in Union Territory, and also ensuring public safety. I hope that this presentation is very useful for you. Before choosing your career, you will find another career option, that is UPSC CSC. We will soon bring the separate presentation of remaining topic, that is eligibility criteria, exam pattern, detailed syllabus analysis, study material and go-to books. So please keep connected with us. On the behalf of the students of class 9th and 10th of Volta Classes, I extend our heartfelt thanks to you.